And hello, it's me, it's at the O-double-G, and welcome to the Fun House. It's a whole lot of fun, there are prizes to be won, it's a really wacky show where anything goes. It's Fun House, it's a quiz, it's a race, it's a real wacky place. Use your body and your brain. If you'd like to play the game, it's Fun House. And there we are, little vintage from the nearly 1990s. And as you might have noticed, and as Grimmy might have noticed straight away, maybe I'm actually getting sacked because I pressed the wrong button and played the wrong intro video right at the start. Sam's going to be elated. But there we are. So, what are you going to do? There's nothing more you can do. But thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. Everybody who is here. And I'm not alone. It's so lovely not to be alone. And who have we got? We've got the Grimace. How are you this evening, Grimmy, dear sir?
I'm very good, Josh. Very good. Looking forward to tonight's show. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm on it like Sonic already. I was saying beforehand, I've got there's a drink called Merlin, which is Bailey's essentially, but it's made in Wales, which means it's better than Bailey's. So it's a bit tastier, a bit thinner, with Penderyn whiskey in there, single malt. Whoa! But I opened it in December and it curdles. So I thought what a better opportunity than to drown my sorrows this evening. There's as we approach on this final one this evening, but couldn't be in better company. Because we've got the man, the myth, the legend, one of the most handsome men I've ever known in real life, and one of the coolest dudes, smoothest talkers, Mr. Lucas. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Very good. Happy with 3-0 up.
I was going to say, you just got prepared, haven't you?
It was just 2. You're just taking the piss now, aren't you? Just thinking, how could I hurt him the most? I know. We'll have Arsenal play really well. That's all right. You keep all your good performances in cup competitions, mate. That's that works well for me. And in the chat, there is Graham. Even Graham doesn't think he's emotionally ready, mate. Ooh, you're never ready. Who knows what's ever going to happen? Johnny in the chat as well. Nice to see you, Johnny. We say you loved Fun House, Pat Sharp and the Mullet, and the Twins. I'm not making any comments, but what a show. Check it out. Get on the little...
No idea what that's referring to.
Yeah, you should have been more self-explanatory when he said Pat Sharp, the Mullet, and the Twins. Pat Sharp had a mullet. He didn't have twins. He had 2 assistants who were twins. That's not making any other reference. Check it out. You can Google it. I'm not leading anyone down any path. I'm not gonna get us kicked off YouTube on the last show because that just really messed it up for everybody. It's Heather as well. Hope you're doing well, Heather. Thank you for joining us. It's Simon as well. Thank you for being here, Simon. Graham's telling us it's Charlton 1, Barnsley 0. It's Freya as well. Massive hello and a thank you to Pathestus, I'm assuming Papa Bear. Oh, you're so lovely. Is Chloe as well. That's very nice. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. And Graham is saying good evening to Wednesday, Boss Freya and Chloe. And she enjoyed the day out. Thought it was absolute class. So I'm assuming that's the one up in Manchester when we went out. But I mean, we'll do the elephant in the room first of all. We'll get it out of the way so we can concentrate on giving Arsenal and Pep Guardiola shit as we progress into the podcast. It is sadly this is certainly my last show in a long while. Who knows if it's going to be indefinite or not. But as Sam said in the post, is essentially there's no negativity, there's nothing wrong, there's been sort of no fallout, there's nothing to be concerned or worried about at all. It is just purely and simply just life. Believe it or not, I'm quite an old guy now. So as a result, as a consequence, my children are quite old. There's a lot of family commitments that I need to have. There's a lot of personal commitments that I've got to have that I need to stick up and dedicate more time into. Health-wise, I've been a bit up and down. It's not fabulous at the moment. But as a consequence, it just means, unfortunately, I just can't give the time and the commitment into the podcast, which it really deserves and that I would like to give to something that has just meant so much to me for so long. I was looking back, it's been like over 2 years doing this particular podcast, which is, well, I think 3 years on October 3rd, I want to say. I think it was October 3rd, the first ever podcast with myself, the legend that is Sam, the legendress, legendary S, legendary Levy, yes, Charlotte, and of course the most handsome man in podcasting, Mr. Lucas. And I actually watched the first episode back the other day. Our cameras weren't very good. The audio was be desired, but I will let you know what were the games we spoke about in that one in a moment, because it ties in quite nicely to what we're going to be discussing today. But just to get it all sort of out of the way, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody, to you, Grimmy, to you, Lucas, Charlotte, Sam, Chloe, Freya, Ant, Ben, Jen, Heather, Rebecca, and I'm missing people out as well. Who am I missing out? I'm missing out loads of people because I didn't prepare anything, so I'm all on the spot. But all the team, all of you, Claire, Christ, could you imagine if I forgot Claire? Jesus, she'd be
outside your door by tomorrow morning.
Dear me, could you imagine? Oh my days! But I mean, Kieran, Uncle Nick, of course, Uncle Nick, and Hannah. We've just had a great team, and we've had lots of people come and go, but the people that have stuck around and been with us for the duration, and even those that only done fleeting visits, everybody has made it so worthwhile. And the ambition was always to create an enjoyable, safe space where people can just come in and feel comfortable to give their opinion without the threat of being ostracized or assaulted for having a different point of view. You've helped us create it, so I really appreciate everything that everybody's done. You've all been amazing. Everybody that watches and in the chat, you're all bloody amazing as well, because it would be really shit sitting here. It would be fun, don't get me wrong, enjoyable sitting here talking football together, but having people watching, having that interaction and the participation, just it makes it worthwhile. And that's what we wanted, something that was inclusive for everybody, and you lot have done that. And it's just been amazing, and it's exciting times ahead. Watch this space. There's so much that is going to be going on the pod over the coming months, and it's the coolest place to be. It's where all the cool cats live. So if you're watching another pod and you're not watching this one, what are you doing with your life? Sort yourselves out. Make sure you stay here. Keep supporting. Thank you, everybody, for all of your love. Genuinely, it means a lot. And it's been a lot of fun. Just in the chat, there's the shout that the legendary S. I was going to say legendary here, but that's not why. The legend that is Charlotte. She's at the Dale game at the moment. But no, I really appreciate it. And Mr. Straight Edge, Grimmy. Mr. Straight, what a blast from the past.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you dropping in. Dreety, look at that. On time. Only say because you're watching Bradford. But all the best. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. What else have we got? There was another name. There's Sean on there as well. He said to go, he'll get the tissues. I'm assuming that's because he's sad, not because he's got Lucas's calendar. Because if he's got it and I haven't,
for God's sake.
I gotta get it in, so I gotta get another chance ever again. But there was, so that's that. It's because it's not all about me. My wife said to me, Josh, don't make it all about you. It's not all about you, you self-righteous, selfish bugger. So it's not. So that's not what we're gonna go. She didn't really. She's really lovely. She loves me on the sly. She just doesn't like people to know. But we're here to talk about the football, and there was lots of FA Cup games. So we're not going to mention all of them. So we'll be here all day. But I was watching the first podcast episode, and some of the games that we covered was, oh look. Maybe Claire thinks we should do a calendar together. Then Lucas, going into the comment. Quite, can you imagine the sales? Oh, the sales! That'd be some merch. But first ever podcast that we did, I remember listening. We covered Liverpool had a very rocky game. I think we had drawn 3-3 with Brighton. They had just had De Zerbi join them as manager, and Lucas was asking the question, should we sack Jurgen Klopp? That was one of the... But another game was shock horror, and there seems to be a theme all the way through the podcast, and when we started it from to where we are now, was Manchester United had just lost 6-3 to Manchester City. And so that's where we started.
That was the Ronaldo staying on the bench game, I think.
I
think that was the one when we had Ronaldo on the bench and people were saying, why didn't we bring him on? And Ten Hag was like, well, what was the point? We were already losing 5-0. He wasn't going to change it. So
fair enough. Yeah.
I'm sure Casemiro was on the bench as well. I thought you had just brought him and he hadn't really Hadn't
Yeah.
really been doing much. I love Claire's comment. Yeah, Josh, you sexy bugger, and you, Lucas, and Grimmy, whatever your name is.
Cheers. Cheers, Claire.
So yeah, so let's continue on as we started. Manchester United losing the game. Manchester United won. Fulham won. Grimmy, how did that one make you feel?
Not surprised. Kind of expected it, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, first 20 minutes we actually looked like we were keeping the ball fairly well, and yeah, and then the usual happened. We started conceding a couple of chances, and then Fulham got on top, and then we conceded another corner, which is a theme of us at the minute. So yeah, and then we got back into it, and then penalty shootout. Anything goes really. If we had Beyonder in goal, I felt like we probably would have went through because he would have saved at least one. But Onana doesn't know how to save a penalty to save his life. So yeah.
At least he didn't wave any in, though. The last time I saw him in a penalty shootout, he's waving goals in.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. He's almost as good as David De Gea was at penalty shootouts before the end. Like when we had Villarreal in the Europa League final, he was about as helpful at saving penalties as he was. But yeah, just penalty shootout can happen. And I saw Lindelof step up, and I just felt he looked like one of those classic ones where I was a bit like, he doesn't look like he wants to take one here, so he's probably going to miss. And lo and behold, he did.
Why was he taking one? I was confused. What happened? Was it like...
I would assume it's to save the youngsters from having that pressure. Because if you have, for example, Obi or Heaven take one and they miss it, they'll get pelters for days. Whilst if you give it to Victor Lindelof and he misses one, he's getting pelters anyway. So make him take it. Yeah, that's all I can. That's the only reason.
In the sixth round of the FA Cup against Fulham.
Yeah,
I mean, look, watching. I mean, I've sort of dropped in and out of the game, to be honest, and it didn't seem to be very well managed by Amarin, though. Some of the substitutions were just a bit. When the game wasn't tied up, wasn't run, it was like didn't want to win it. I don't know.
I don't know. It's. I mean, I think that's just where we are as a club at the minute, is that I think any subs he would make would be subpar at best. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about Man United at the minute. I've kind of run out of words for them and how it's being managed. But, you know, we got the equaliser and we came back into it. It's not like we went out with a feeble 1-0 or anything. We came back into it, but, you know, if you lose to Man United, you must be a bad team at the minute. That's all I'm saying.
There's some good analysis in the chat. I mean, Graham saying Amon clearly wasn't overly bothered with Lindelof taking one. And Claire's really gone into the nuts and bolts, I think, with some really in-depth analytical views here. United are really, really shit, and it's hilarious. Nail. I mean,
it's got to a point. It's got to a point watching them where whenever we do something bad, I just laugh because I'm like, we're at that point where now, it's not unexpected. So, you know, I know it's not been great at times over the past 10 years, but it's obviously not been this bad. So I'm just kind of, you know, well, we're crap now. So what's the point in getting my expectations up? It's like we celebrated like we'd won the league when we drew 2-2 at Anfield, or we managed to fend off Arsenal for 60 minutes with 10 men, or beat City with like 5 minutes of magic from Diallo. So, you know, but I've looked at the fixture list that we've got for the rest of the season, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
Because where were you? Because last time I checked, I mean, I haven't followed massively recently. Fortunately, things taking up my time that I wouldn't want to have. But were you like 13th or something last time I saw?
We're 14th. We're joint with Spurs.
Oh, that's a place to be.
We're a point ahead of Everton, and we're joint with Spurs and West Ham. So I heard people saying on like United podcast that we're definitely gonna fight for top 10, and I was just like, on what planet are you watching the football on the pitch that we've got and thinking we're even going to get 9 points before the end of the season? because that's what we have to do to get to Villa, who are 9 points in front of us. So, cuckoo land.
Yeah. Everyone else is playing better in front of you. Brentford, Palace.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I'd even say Wolves at the minute. Wolves, even though they've had a few losses, have got a couple of wins. We've,
Yeah. But they're in trouble now.
You get to play Leicester.
Oh, yeah, that
Great.
should be 3 points on paper.
Great.
Away,
We'll get to 36.
That
Bam.
should still be 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, because Sean's saying that Grimmy's going to be on the EFL show soon along with Sam at this rate.
I said, well, I
One
said
can
it. I can't remember. I think we lost to Spurs. It might have been Spurs when we lost. And I just put a thing on Twitter saying, I just added Shaw and I was just like, I'm just putting my application in now for next year's EFL podcast, just for when that eventually comes.
Poor Sam. He's going to have to get like 17 new people on this show.
I know.
I think Heather said you were almost praying for relegation. I almost misread that and said paying, but with Ineos, you ain't paying for nothing. You're not paying staff.
We're not paying for lunches. Never mind relegation.
I know. Can we hit on that, because I will tell everybody it's my last. I'm just going to do whatever I want this evening. So the format is going to be so wishy-washy.
How's that different to what you normally do?
I try to keep some sort of semblance of form and order, but talking of no Canty, but here have an apple. Are we back in like the 1940s?
I think they get sandwiches and a fruit.
My son gets that at school. If I send him.
The thing that made me laugh about the statement was how they were saying we were restricting the free meals. We're not giving hot meals to people, but we're giving sandwiches and a fruit. But the first team are getting full meals. I'm like, right, so what about the reserve players and the youth players that are training all day and doing all their caboodle? Like, do they not get meals as well? Are we just starving children now?
Mums are bringing in sliced mandarins, isn't they?
Yeah, it's gonna be mums at the gate with like fish and chips back in the day when they banned takeaways at school.
Like, come on, Stephen, I've got your orange.
Kai Rooney's gonna be loving life.
Can you imagine? All the other kids will bully him then, though, because they'll all be having like their peanut butter spread sandwiches and all of this shit lunch that my mum's giving me a panini or a ham wrap, and he's like, his dad's Wayne Rooney, so obviously he's going to be like, yes, I'll have a kebab, and I'm like, proper food being handed over the fence. He's going to get some absolute aggro and abuse, that poor lad, isn't he?
No, it'll be fine.
Yeah. I imagine. It's great. Graham, Jim taking away dinners, replacing them with fruit for United to slip on a banana skin in the FA Cup.
Well, at least we didn't get knocked out by Plymouth.
Well,
and I haven't got a lot to live off of this season, Josh. I have to have something.
That's the one.
Well, I mean, Sam, there's Sam in the chat. P.S. United are shit, but apparently he's going to try and come on at 9:30. So we'll have to keep going till 9:30.
Yeah. Clocked off at 9:25 to nearly finish. It is Sam's birthday, but I know he's coming on later, so I'm holding back on the celebration of Sam aging another year. I'm not sure at what stage it stops becoming a celebration and starts to become like a bit of a one of them. Yeah, I'm sort of. You're still here. Well done.
40 next year. I am. Can you believe that? 40.
I thought you were already 40.
I just look 40, mate.
Oh, all right, okay.
Just look. Yeah, that's just my aesthetic.
And then there's Lucas looking 22.
Yeah. I wish.
Just fly. I nearly dropped an F-bomb then to describe just how fly Lucas is, but I didn't. How good is that? And Graham's he's 50 next year. Look how we could have a decade party together. But Lucas, United losing to Fulham. How did that would make you feel?
Like Grimmy said, it's just comical at the moment. It's not even. I can't even enjoy it that much as I used to when United losing, because it just happened so much. So kind of just over it. It's like they're just rubbish now. That's just what it is.
Yeah, it's
they kind of took the fun out of them losing.
I'm exactly the same, because even when the Ten Hag, you'd have that little lift, there'd be a couple of games,
exactly,
and it'd start to go, and then you'd fall.
Now it's just like this is the standard, so it's like, oh well.
Yeah, because
They're
it's gone
bad.
from. Do you know, like when you watch a comedy show or something, and someone's trying to stand up, and then this real's hitting them in the face, and going, "Oh my goodness!" Oh. And it's like quite funny for a bit. If someone's just on the floor, because someone's just walking up, just kicking them, that's not funny to watch. You're taking all the joy out of it now. So yeah, hopefully you'll win a game at some point.
We need a new manager bounce, and then a loss to Southampton.
Yeah,
Leicester.
well, new manager bounce. Yeah, of a manager we couldn't afford to get rid of, and probably couldn't afford to hire a new manager at this point. So yeah,
definitely not. Great. I do think you probably should have won the game, but in normal time. But
yeah, I mean probably. But again, our forward line is so out of confidence at the minute. Like we ain't getting them to hit.
It's like ours.
Bond over Banjo. Yeah, but your front line's because you've got injuries. Our front line is because we are rubbish. Like if Saka, Martinelli, and Co and Havertz were there, if you had one of them,
probably not having,
you'd be scoring goals fine, I think. But for us, we just don't have any confidence in the front line. And like even if we get a decent position, Garnacho cuts inside and belts it 50 yards over the bar, and we're like, great, now what we're gonna do? So maybe next year.
I do sort of feel sorry for him because a little bit of me thinks, well, what is he going to get to spend? Because if you can't afford to give someone pie and chips in the canteen,
there's this myth going about that if we sell players in the summer, we're gonna have money to spend. I'm like, who is buying the players? No one is buying any of our squad right now in the form they're in. Yes, Garnacho probably could go to Napoli again if Napoli come back in.
Yeah, you'll probably get some suitors in.
We'll probably get some for him. Højlund, we might be able to get at a cut.
Oh, he's
discount in Europe.
Good luck.
Somewhere. We could get him for like 20 million, maybe. We might get 25 million for Anthony. Villa might keep Rashford for 40 million. But apart from that, I'm not really seeing where we're getting.
To be fair, I actually think just based on their names, I think you will get money for Anthony. I think Anthony will go because he's gone on loan and has looked unreal since moving.
We're not going to get.
You definitely won't get them. Yeah, you won't get the 70 million though.
God,
you'll get enough.
It hurts my soul that we spent 70 million on that man.
You'll get something. You'll get something for Rashford. Who else is? Has Malacia gone or is that a loan?
Well, Heather's saying she's going to start a GoFundMe to buy Mason Mount. Just
you won't get anything for him.
Well, she could buy him, and he could just sit on like the.
He'll get injured doing the hoovering of your front of your house, mate. Like, there's no point buying him. Like
250 grand a week, he's not going anywhere.
Casemiro's already said he's comfortable where he is. I'm
I
sure
bet
you are
he
with
is.
350 grand
Saudi,
a week.
surely.
Yeah, I'd be comfortable as well.
How a Saudi team hasn't come in for him?
Because they've looked at him and went,
surely he'd be a monster over there in midfield. You can make a good. I reckon you lot can make
10th.
Is 100 million pushing it in sales? Who else have you got?
No, we can get to 100 million, but then
you could get to 100.
What we've got to, this is the problem we've had for like 4 or 5 years now. Is yes, we could get people out the door maybe, but it's getting the right people in for a low enough price to be able to replace the entirety of that team, and we're not going to be able to do that. Yes, we can sell Garnacho, Højlund, but the fact is the people that we replace them with aren't going to do what we need them to do, which is get us back into the top 7 realistically. And I just don't see it happening.
You need some very efficient scouting.
That's a good joke.
How's Mazwowie doing? Is Mazwowie still doing bits?
See, this is another bone of contention I have. Yes, he's been decent, but I often people praise him to the moon and back, and I'm like, is he just looking good because everyone else is looking so dire? Like, yes, he keeps the ball, but he should be doing that. Like, he's not like he's creating goals left, right, and center for us and putting chances on a plate for Højlund, and doing things like that. But yes, he's probably been consistent in terms of consistency. He probably has been our best player this season, but that's not really much to shout about when everything else has been so poor.
Do you know what I think hasn't helped though? Every time you've signed a player at United, and I genuinely, legitimately feel bad on the United bashing sometimes. But as somebody that got traumatized by Manchester United for about 2 decades, it sits on me. But every time United have signed a player, instead of just like letting a player come in and he's a signing. Oh, that's good. Yeah, he's a good sign. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody's like, he's him. This is the next thing. Xerxes, what a hero. Yoro, oh my God, Yoro's going to change the world of defending. Ugart, the greatest defensive midfielder of our generation. And every player that has come in, I think because they've been so hyped up, sort of puts a pressure on them. But then the minute they don't perform, like Xerxes, I was watching with my old man, and he's not a massive football fan, but his first thing, I thought he was meant to be good. He's garbage. And I think you get that really negative connotation because the hype is so big. And I do think that's been sort of an issue for you as well, you know?
Yeah, in terms of signings, certain signings, I think in different circumstances would have been great. I think Højlund coming in when he's not having to be the main guy straight away, when he's only 2021, probably would have worked out in the long run. I mean, there's tens of transfers I can point to where I can give you a critical analysis of pretty much every transfer and say why it was the wrong move at the wrong time. But at the minute, any player we buy, we are ruining their careers and basically putting a handbrake on any progression they were making and any sort of goodwill they had coming into Man United. We're a bit of a drainer of souls at the minute. If you come to play at Old Trafford, we will probably suck the life out of your play and make you a worse player for it. So again, I think the way we need to go in terms of buying players is stop buying players that are considered either in their prime or just past their prime, like we've done with like Casemiro, Varane. I would even argue Sanchez, when we got him from Arsenal, was starting to dip a little bit. And I didn't think that was going to work at all, and I was proven right, unfortunately. But I think we need to go back to square one and just start buying younger players in and putting, if we don't have quality on the pitch, having energy. Just having people who are going to run and giving you something. Because if we put Casemiro in our central midfield one more time, I may well have a breakdown watching that man trying to chase down a ball because he just can't do it anymore.
Graham's feeling your pain. He thinks he'd be better off doing this show lying down on a couch.
there is one over there, so I could probably use that, but the camera won't move. But in terms of, like, I see the chat's points, like, I mean, Johnny's saying the biggest mistake was letting De Gea go. We needed to let De Gea go. There is, because of how Onana's doing, there is a bit of revisionist history that De Gea wouldn't be this bad. De Gea was bad by the end. Like, he was making mistakes every few games. He was making howlers every other game. The FA Cup final, which was his last game, he gave the ball away twice and we conceded. Like, you know, like it was time for De Gea to go. The problem is we spent a lot of money on a player who had one good season at Inter. Like we've done with a lot of the signings. If you look at the history, we've bought players who've had a good season and not a historical, like 2 or 3, 4 years good run or potential to show that they've got that in them, and we've just wasted money.
Because that was it with Onana. If you watched him a couple of seasons, he wasn't faultless as a keeper. He'd have a couple of good runs, and he'd have some silly mistakes. And if you watched football more than for half an hour when you're scouting a player, you know that it must be it must be hard. But
the thing is that there's always, I don't understand why the options we pick are always the most expensive. There are cheap options out there which will give you 7 out of 10s every week. And that's what we need at the minute. We don't need 8 or 9 or 10 out of 10 players. We need people who are solid, and we just pick these players and just that don't work. I mean, we pick players for a manager and then get rid of said manager and bring in another manager who has a totally different system and then expect him to go, hey, make this work. But hey ho, I think we should probably leave it there for Manchester United because I might start having a breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, it was because you mentioned about signing the right players, signing good players, and Johnny asked if you take Grimmy back, which does.
Would I take Grimmy back? No, I'd leave him on the bench. To be fair,
no, Welbeck back. It's because I've been smashing this Bailey down. But I just quick. I mean, FM was saying, Nano was at fault for Ajax conceding 2 of the goals in the Champions League semi-final. And again, you need to watch. You know, if United scouting did more than just go, God, he looked pretty good on the general highlight reels. Let's get a bit of that in. Maybe you do better. But talking on Danny Welbeck and making good signings, Lucas, did you catch Newcastle 1, Brighton 2, and how did it make you feel?
Yeah, I did actually. I don't know. I feel like Newcastle have still just got one eye on the Carabao Cup, which makes sense. Absolute head loss from Anthony Gordon. And
did you see people saying, was it a red card? That shouldn't have been a red card.
What was he thinking? Like he misses the final now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In theory.
They're appealing it, I think, but I don't see how it gets overturned.
You can't push someone in the head.
It just makes no sense. What is the point in it? But and then Ishak precautionary, just taking them off again. So I think Brian are doing well. They look like they'll give it a go. The draw hasn't come yet, has it, or has it?
I think I saw it. Yeah. Who have they got?
It's the quarters now, isn't it?
Is it Forest?
Brighton Forest. It's a good matchup next, but let's be real. There's only one team who's going to win this, so
let's
Aston Villa.
My chips.
No, let's not be silly. It's the only thing left for them. They are going to win it.
No, I don't think City will win it because I think they'll bring Rodri back too quick and then he'll get injured again and they'll have a meltdown over a midfield getting injured.
I want Bournemouth to ransack City. I want them to absolutely.
If Bournemouth beat City, I could accept getting relegated. I would if that was the trade, Bournemouth knock out City and you get relegated, I'm like, yeah, sure.
I want it to happen because I know we will come back to the Newcastle Brighton game because it was an entertaining game. But on the Man City front, what I don't like, and it's proven my point, and this is something I mentioned it in the very first episode on our first podcast, my dislike of Pep Guardiola, and that I don't think he's the greatest manager of all time. Coach, a great coach, one of the best coach, a trainer of a type and style of football, yes, but a manager. I think the fact that he was doing so bad at Man City, and when you look at the great managers, like Alex Ferguson at United, he didn't go out. When he was struggling, his team was struggling, he changed things around, change formation, change players, change they would make changes in the club. When Jurgen Klopp was struggling at Liverpool, would make changes in there. All the good managers, that's what they do. Arsene Wenger, with changing tactics, getting players to play in different positions. What does Pep do? I'll go and outspend an entire league, the whole of Europe. I'll outspend them all to buy as many players as he can to try and improve ourselves because he ain't got it. That's why. So last time, Pep, have some of them.
The other thing I would say as well is that with the situations that City have found themselves in this year, it's like if it was any other manager that was managing City, they'd be out the door if they were
bombed out.
Yeah,
out of the Champions League, out of the title race, 20 points behind Liverpool already. Like,
yeah, they'd be gone.
They'd be gone. And to be fair, with some of the names you mentioned there, like they would, like you say, they would change something about it. And Pep hasn't done that. He's stuck to his play, which is, he's entitled to do. But I think for people to say they've had an injury crisis, I think is a bit
Yeah, have a day off.
Like, yeah,
have a day off.
I think about, and again, I think about other teams who've had maybe injury crisis, like Arsenal with their front line. I can understand why maybe they're a bit further behind than people would have expected. And Liverpool a few years ago, when you had Van Dijk and basically the entire defense,
you had no defenders.
Yeah, like when you had no defenders, and you didn't. I think you finished outside top 4 that year, or maybe stuck in. I can't remember. But
I think we were 5th. I got a feeling.
Things like that, I can get calling an injury crisis. Losing your main midfielder for a season isn't an injury crisis, and I get some of the players have maybe got past the point where they're at the peak now, like your Kyle Walkers or whatever, or your De Bruyne's, but they should still have enough quality to be definitely solidly in the top 4, not fighting for Champions League with, Chelsea, Newcastle and Bournemouth and Forest as well. It's crazy.
A bunch of ass hats. That's what I loved it. I've really enjoyed watching him struggle. It just knocked me off. I don't mean it maliciously. I just think it's ironic that allegedly, obviously, Pep's going through some difficult times personally. And the story that I've heard on the grapevine is that the big part of his divorce was his wife not wanting him to extend his contract at City. Or allegedly, he did it without notifying her. Apparently,
Right.
Which I get. Because why would you want to stay in Manchester if you? I think she's Catalan, and obviously she spent all this time in Spain. Bit of time in Germany. Germany's all right. Quite a nice city. Weather's all right to be in. But then you're in Manchester for this period of time. I mean, I sort of get that. But the fact that he would put that much into managing City and then it all go tits up. I thought, oh, the poor sod. I almost felt sorry for him. And then they just went and blew a load of cash and just to try and bam him back up again. So you lost my sympathy, Pep. You had some. You had my sympathy and an element of respect for a period. Gone now.
Yeah.
The ship sailed. It's not there. But Graham saying Pep's great if you give him £1 billion. Johnny said that's why he prefers Klopp over Pep. I think Graham was mentioning my salute, my Winston Churchill salute. Assuming to Pep, that'll be a good one for the future. And bless his heart, his old Dan, give me some love. Mwah. Lots of love to you, Dan. But let's get him back into the game though. I mean, Grimmy, do you think Brighton deserved the win over Newcastle?
I didn't see the full game. I did see the extra time, and it was kind of a bit back and forth. But it's like Lucas said. I mean, Brighton have been in a bit of decent form recently and seem to have turned around that little slump they had. So yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was trying to think of what the score would be between Newcastle and Brighton, I probably had it down as a 1-1 and go into extra time. So. Yeah, I mean, it's a great result for them. But, I mean, yeah, Danny Welbeck, what a hero.
I was going to say, you see his goal as well.
Yeah.
I bet him.
Becoming a better finisher as he's gotten older.
He was to be fair, when we had him before he went to Arsenal and ruined his career, he was a good finisher for us. Like, he had even in the Moyes season, the infamous Moyes season, I'm sure he had a period of like 9 or 8 games in a row where he scored every game or got an assist. Like he was in good form then. It's just injuries have ruined him, really. Have stalled him.
Would you wish you have him now? Would you wish you've got him at United?
I've said many a time that I wish we hadn't sold him in the first place. Like I think he would have been might not necessarily have been the first name up front, but he would have been in and out the team.
It's a bit of a unnecessary sell.
He would
especially to Arsenal.
He would have, yeah, exactly. That was the one that was the thing I didn't understand was why are we selling him to obviously not necessarily our main rivals at the time, but historically one of our main rivals and someone we'd be fighting for top fours with 9 times out of 10. Maybe not in the coming years, but yeah, like he was someone that could finish and was pretty decent. And if we kept him fit for the majority of the time, he would have been a good asset. Like him and Hernandez with the 2 I didn't get because I thought 2 good strikers that could get you plenty of goals.
Old Chicharito, tell me what's wrong. ABBA, by the way, people didn't know what that was a reference to.
Before my time.
But I tell you what, though, I'm just flitted across over to the Champions League, and I think Arsenal are completely chatting on everybody's.
PSV again.
We haven't got any strikers. That's why we can't score goals. 5-1 against PSV. 5-1. So, what?
Let's see how we do in the league. PSV are horrific. Absolutely. I didn't know they were this bad. Like, this is terrible. But yeah, that's it. Game done. Get everyone off. Rest as many people as possible. He won't, though. He won't. 5-1 up, and he'll leave everyone on to the 90th minute.
That's what I never understood why he did that with Saka. When he could just bring him off when you're like 3-0 up and just leaves him on. I'm like, just get him off.
5-1 up. Saliba's played pretty much every minute. Gabriel's played pretty much every minute. Let's just leave them on for the 90 minutes. Why not? They could come back. It's ridiculous. Anyway, back to the FA Cup.
You've taken off Lewis Skelly because I think you wanted to get himself sent off.
Yeah.
But they're very, very bizarre. Mate. Yeah, 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers as well. So I know I no longer accept that we haven't got any strikers excuse anymore. That's gone. They've ruined it for themselves.
The striker is part of the problem, but it's not the main problem. It's creating. So we're kind of just playing with a bit of freedom today, and that's why we're destroying them. But watch us against United on the weekend. We'll be back to normal.
Oh, is that who we've got?
Yeah,
oh, for crying out loud. Right. Okay. I generally had no idea who we were playing this weekend.
Just remember, we couldn't beat you with 10 men at the Emirates.
We've got worse since then.
So have we.
I didn't think that was possible. So 0-0.
0-0, yeah. 0-0's on the cards there.
Yeah. Is that what you? Because like you see, Man United, Arsenal used to be such a fiery affair, but it sort of feels like now no one's gonna care. I don't think of.
I would say in the FA Cup, that last FA Cup game, it did get pretty heated, more than I've seen probably in a while. Maguire calling Havertz a mud house, shall we say, was certainly not on the bingo card. Ugarte or Martinez, I think it was, headbutting one of the Arsenal players. That was a bit feisty. So I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think the United players probably won't have that much fire on Sunday. So we'll see what happens.
Well, they might have a fire on just to get the heating up a little bit, and because that's the only place you're allowed to heat now, isn't it? At Old Trafford, the home dressing room.
Well, if it rains, the fans will get wet anyway because the roof doesn't even protect them anymore. So
got the mice.
Well, they're going to eat. They're going to eat them. You're going to have a cat to catch the mice and have a dog. God bless your little heart. But I mean, the other games that took place, Forest beat Ipswich Town. I mean, fair play to Ipswich for getting quite far. It was quite good. Bournemouth beating Wolves on penalties again, though. Crystal Palace performing well, but against 10 men Millwall. Aston Villa beating Cardiff City, which was worked for me. Preston beating Burnley 3-0. Man City beating the giant killers of Plymouth Argyle, the mighty Plymouth 3-1. But that takes us to the quarterfinals. Brighton Forest. Who are you calling, Lucas?
Oh, that is a tough one.
It's a game to watch as well, isn't it?
But I think based on form in the cup, well, the Forest have got to keep one eye on Champions League. Brighton haven't got too much to play. Well, I mean, there's a top 7 place, but again, I don't think it's not urgent for them. Plus, I think they've knocked out Chelsea and Newcastle. I'm gonna probably give it to Brighton on this one. I think they've got the form in the FA Cup at least, and they're hitting form in the league as well. To be fair, they won 3 in the bounce, haven't they?
I've been enjoying
the season strong.
Yeah, they're only 5 points. They're only 5 points off Forest to a third. So.
Forest to a third.
Madness. Yeah. Wait, so where are Brighton?
Brighton are 8th. Brighton are 8th. You've got Brighton 43, Bournemouth 43, Newcastle 44, Chelsea 46, and then City and Forest are 47 and 48. 48 points.
That is crazy.
5 points between 6 teams.
Yes, I think I'll go Brighton. I think, damn, Forest. Yeah, I'll go Brighton, but Champions League is not secure for Forest at all.
I'm feeling Brighton myself. How about you, Grimace? Are you on the Brighton train or?
Yeah, I think because of the upturn in form, really, I'd fancy them, especially being at home as well. I'll nick it maybe 2-1 to Brighton.
Oh, that's nice. Preston, Aston Villa, Grimace. Are you a villain in this game?
I would say so. Yeah, I think probably a 2-0 Villa. Pretty comfortable, I think.
Do you concur, Lucas? Have we got any advance on 2-0?
There's going to be no surprises there.
I mean, another interesting game, Fulham Crystal Palace.
Derby.
That's tough one to call, isn't it? I mean, Lucas.
Fulham at home.
Yeah.
I think it's Palace are hitting form.
Because of that.
Palace are hitting form, are better away from home. Did just beat Fulham, but I think reverse fixture. I think Fulham might have them here.
Because I'm just looking at their last couple of games.
Palace. Yeah, Palace literally just beat them at Craven Cottage. Like
the form in terms of like wins and losses
team,
is pretty much identical. To be fair.
Fulham. Yeah, I'd go Fulham.
Maybe I don't know how long Mateta's supposed to be out for with that injury, but if he's out for a little while, then maybe that's something that Palace lose a little bit.
I think he got discharged already, and I think it wasn't a concussion; it was more an open wound. I think.
Right, okay.
So he actually should be. He'll probably be masked up. Yeah,
an open wound.
Outrageous challenge that.
Oh, that is some descriptive terminology, don't it? An open wound.
Yeah,
that tells you exactly what you're looking at. I've always enjoyed that one. His wound. And Bournemouth, Man City, Grimmy, come on. Surely you're back in Bournemouth on this one. Surely.
3-1 Bournemouth.
I'm unfortunately gonna have to back City on this. I think Bournemouth are on the they're on the fringes of we made some waves this season. We showed everyone what about, but we're kind of just done now.
We might start dipping down again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're kind of just like we've had it going where we're kind of tired now. They're on the fringes of kind of just like not falling apart, but just not destroying everyone as they were for a good chunk of this year. I think City are now also hitting. Everyone's coming back, minus a few centre backs, but the midfield looks a lot more solid. And Haaland's back in there. I think City are gonna sort of just hit form and just gonna basically outscore everyone in the next to the end of the season.
Yeah, it makes you sad, doesn't it?
I can't really see them dropping points and losing games again, like in the manner they were.
They've done it. I mean, they've lost 8 games in the Premier League this season. So nothing.
Plus, that only competition I can't see past them with. This is literally the last thing to do. Even though Pep has come out and said. I think Pep coming out and saying it will still be a bad season if we win the FA Cup is a way of him saying to his players, you better fucking win this FA Cup. Like, don't take the piss here. I think that was so timely of him just going, it will still be a bad season. I think the players have looked at that and gone, we need to win this trophy. Like, our bad season should be us just winning an FA Cup. We cannot go trophyless.
Nah, come on, Bournemouth.
We all want it to happen, but...
They should have Evan Nielsen back. Yeah. The thing is, I find it's hard to maintain when you're a club of that sort of size. It's hard to maintain that standard for a sustained period. Certainly, as we're coming to we're right at the tail end in the final third now, and it's quite hard to maintain that because I think you can have a really good start, but then teams will start to figure you out a little bit, and that's when it's sort of really telling of the quality of the coaching and the players if they can sort of keep it up. And it's hard, and City just suck ass, don't they? just don't enjoy it. Just upsets me. I really don't like it. I wish it was somebody else, but we had to go lose to Brighton, didn't we? But incidentally, I mean, come on, that's the FA. I mean, all the way in the FA Cup. Well, Lucas, you were saying Man City all the way, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Where are you sitting, Grimmy, really, for the overall winners?
I see. I had a funny feeling about Bournemouth, but they've got City, so even now I'm not sure about that one. But I did have Villa early on, so I think I'll stick with them.
I can see a Villa,
which would hurt because it'd be Rashford winning a trophy.
But oh yeah, I mean, would you prefer that or him scoring the winning goal in the Champions League?
At least I could say a Man United player did something in the Champions League this season. That's something.
I'd like
it would be. I wouldn't mind it just to see the outrage and civil war that will go on in the United fan base if Marcus Rashford delivers a Champions League.
Hilarious. Even me as a United fan, I'd be sitting back with a box of popcorn watching that.
Because you'll have the ones saying why do we get rid of him? Our attack is. You'll have the ones going, no, he was never going to. It would be cinema.
Revisionist history would be aplenty on the landscape.
Yeah,
he would have been like your greatest striker. Why did you ever contemplate not having him in starting every game?
There'd be revisionism, but there'd be arguments for both sides because you can go, well, this is a player who, given the right tools and coaching, has helped deliver a champion. He has to help though. He can't just come from the bench and do nothing. I'm talking he scores, starts starting games from a semi-final, scores a couple goals in either the semi-final or the final. That would be entertaining. But yeah, I forgot what we were talking about before this.
Football.
You going back to Champions League?
Something to do with football. Can't quite remember.
Yeah. Sorry, the FA Cup was the weekend, but
Who was going to win the
so
FA
I
Cup?
don't
I
care.
think.
Champions League.
Yeah.
Man City going to win it. It's done.
Gets in there. Yeah, Champions League matters.
The interesting one. Is it specifically? Is the table set so we know who plays who if they go through, or is it another draw after this now? It's draw.
I think it's set, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how it's set.
Can Villa meet them in the final, or can Villa meet City before?
Oh, do you mean for the FA Cup? Sorry, if I meant for
the FA Cup, yeah.
I don't think so.
Is there one more draw for the set?
I think so, yeah.
I'm sure the next round is the quarterfinal now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a draw for the semi-final in the FA Cup? Oh, there is. Yes, there is.
There must be.
Carabao Cup there isn't, but FA Cup there is.
Because I watched Danny Murphy and who else? Who did the draw for the quarters?
Yeah, it's a semi-final draw.
Worst pundit ever known to mankind.
Oh, Danny Murphy and Dennis Irwin. Dennis Irwin did the draw.
God, I'd have him as a left back right now, even at his current age.
So
I bet he'd still be a good one.
Man, so if all our predictions would be what? Brighton, Villa, City, Fulham. That's a crazy semi-final.
Oh, my days.
Would be nice for a new team to win it.
That's why I'm hoping Bournemouth do City, because like Bournemouth, Villa, Brighton, Fulham.
Oh, that'd be amazing for a semi-final. Yeah, that'd be
quality,
brilliant.
Wouldn't it?
Come on, Bournemouth.
Do you know what? I've never supported Bournemouth so hard as I will be on the 29th of March. Actually,
they just need to stop the rot before it takes over at the moment. So who have they got next in the league? They got Spurs away, who are also hitting form.
What's it? That we've only just climbed to equal points for them.
Yes, they were unlucky in that City game, but before that they won 3 on the bounce, and all their players are back now as well, or back in the next couple of weeks. Romero, Van der Ven, they're all back. Vicario, Udogie.
To be fair, Bournemouth's running for like the last 5-6 fixtures isn't too bad. Like they've got Ipswich, West Ham, Fulham, Palace.
All winnable.
Man United
is 3 points. So United should be 3 points.
Arsenal is last game of the season, I think. So
no,
one of the last ones.
They're a bit of a bogey team though. They're another one. Them, West Ham, and bloody Newcastle, and Villa. Those 4. Doesn't matter home or away. Always going to be a problem.
Because they nearly did you in your last game, Bournemouth, didn't they? If memory serves.
They did. They beat us.
They beat us all the time now. It's kind of a thing.
Well, who don't, mate? I wouldn't want to be in the league.
Ipswich
isn't.
Yeah, Ipswich, Southampton, the only ones. Southampton got close, but
I know, bless their little heart. But I mean, that's FA Cup sort of done. Let's take a goosey gander at this bad boy, and we'll do it. Yeah, why not?
13 points in February. Man. This is not a title race or challenge whatsoever. It's done. Let's just get one thing very clear. 13 points is not a title race.
I don't like thinking that way because...
No, Josh, let's not do this.
I've seen it happen before.
Don't do it, Josh.
So
have you seen us in the league?
At this point?
Yeah. Champions League doesn't cap. It's not the same form. PSV are wide open. Premier League, we are diabolical right now. We cannot beat anyone. Watch us against United this weekend. Watch us against United this weekend.
Games, though.
Defensively, we're good. Going forward, though, we are so easy for Premier League teams to stop us. Watch the United this week. If we do not beat United this weekend, it gets worse after that.
Don't make me want United to play well.
I look at our fixtures, and generally, there are 3 wins in there where I'm confident about. We've got United next at Old Trafford, who this season we only managed to beat you in the first leg, and then you knocked us out of the FA Cup when you had 10 men, by the way. Then we've got Chelsea at home, and then we've got Fulham.
You'll beat Chelsea.
Fulham we haven't beaten in 2 seasons now. They beat us last season and drew. This season we drew with them. No, they beat us this season already at Craven Cottage.
Is that at home?
And then we've got Everton away. That's at home, but it doesn't seem to matter.
That's Smith Rowe coming back.
Yep, Smith Rowe.
Revenge game.
Revenge game. And then we got Everton away. which is like a fortress at the moment.
I was going to say they've been quite solid, haven't they?
They're also another one on the Moyes bogey team. Yeah, they're not losing at the moment. You look at that and how we're playing, and I'm like, are we going to win any of those games? I'm not confident. So this is going to be 20 points very soon if we don't buck up. And it starts with United, who, no matter how bad they are, watch us go and draw at United.
I mean, I tell you what, I wanted to check out. I wanted to double check this, but I don't think I did. Has anybody seen for certain what Arnie Slot said to get sent off?
Something about losing if they lose the Premier League because of this result.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Apparently, I'm not. Well, that's what I read. Is he said if we lose this will be down to effing you or something along those lines.
That's quite funny.
And part of me thinks, did he really, or is it Michael Oliver, wouldn't it?
He's probably misheard something.
Is he just being a willy? Because he is a bit of a willy. He's a silly. Is
Slot back though? Isn't he back for the Southampton game, or is he lost? It's only 2 games, right?
Yeah,
I thought it was 3.
Games.
I did.
I thought it was 2.
Wasn't it Man City and? It is
2.
Yeah, City and
Forest.
And Forest. No, what am I talking about? Who did you just play? Newcastle. City and Newcastle, right?
Yeah, Newcastle. Sorry, yeah.
We played Forest. Not that it mattered. You absolutely destroyed both of them without like breaking a sweat. And now you've got the lovely. Oh, how many goals this weekend, Josh? Should I triple captain Salah for Southampton
in a
single game? Are we going to look at 5 GA here from Mo Salah?
Do you know what? If ever you were going to triple captain Salah, this is the game that logically this would be the one, wouldn't it?
Over a double game week, yeah. Because did you see them against Chelsea? They, based on their injuries, I think they were saying that left-hand side, which was Cole Palmer's side, is their weakest side, and he had 2 like big chances, one-on-ones in like the first 15 minutes, which he should have scored. Now imagine that, but with Mo Salah now. The worst ever team in Premier League history, and their weakest side in defense up against a player probably about to do the greatest. I mean, is it the greatest Premier League season? You could probably. It's up there.
And he's like
if he does the 20 GA, 20 goals, 20 assists, he's on course for what? He's done what is he on? 26 goals?
I think he's 25 in the Premier League. In the Premier League, I think
assists or something.
25 goals, 17 assists.
Bloody hell.
I mean, how old's Mo now? 32, lads. He's 32 years of age. And that's for that.
He is going to tear Southampton. He's going to absolutely destroy them.
But wouldn't it be the most like Premier League thing that he has an absolute damper of a game and then Southampton somehow sneak a 1-0?
Southampton sneaking a draw would be. I will partially admit Premier League isn't completely finished if that happens.
Yeah, but you haven't played us yet. If we then beat you, you'd be like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. I will give the Premier League some praise if that happens. But most of the season I've been absolutely big enough. La Liga's completely destroying the Premier League at the moment. So is Serie A for just pure footballing ability and entertainment. But if that happens, we're back. We're back, people.
Well, Heather's saying he's fasting because I think it must be Ramadan at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't celebrate it personally, so I'm not quite akin to it. But yeah, I still think
even more motivation knowing he's going to feast after that game.
Going to feast during the game. He's going to feast on the souls.
Feast on the souls of Southampton for the appetizer, and then
he's going to be like
meal after.
Eat this, bitches. But you think it's foregone. Grimmy, do you think Arsenal are going to mount a challenge?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think it's done. The thing is, Liverpool have 10 games left. They're 13 points ahead. Are they going to draw or lose 4 or 5 games between now and the end of the season?
Isn't it? Yeah. When you put it that way, it's actually like that's done.
They're not like the thing is Liverpool have to lose those games or draw them, and Arsenal still have to win those games to claw it back.
Yeah, I mean,
when you put it that way, no logic, like no sane person can argue that. And then even the ones I've just given you our next 4 games, and you're like,
Yeah, I don't want it to be the case. I'd like Arsenal to catch them up, but like, unfortunately, I just don't see the consistency in the league from Arsenal for them to do it.
I'm not gonna like jinx anything by saying yes, it will happen. I'm gonna touch wood. If something does happen, and Liverpool go all the way, surely Arne Slot, he's manager of the season. Surely to God, there's nothing comes. Has anybody done that? Won the league in their first season?
Yeah,
Mourinho?
it's been done. I think he's the third manager in Premier League history, right?
Yeah, Mourinho. I would say Conte.
Yes.
And
no, is it Ancelotti or Ranieri? No,
Ranieri.
Oh, no, Ranieri was at Chelsea before, so he doesn't count.
Yeah,
and it wasn't their first season in the Prem.
Was Conte not the first season?
It might be Conte. Yeah, Conte. Wait, which? Yeah.
Because I think
he came in, switched to the back three, right? Yeah. Did Ancelotti not do it with?
I think so. Yeah.
No,
because I think Ancelotti was there 2 seasons, and I think the first season he won the league, and then the second season he was like 4th, and then Abramovich got rid of him.
Wait, what about one of Pellegrini or Mancini?
Mancini didn't win it first season.
I don't think either of them did.
Pellegrini might have.
Pellegrini must have, right?
Pellegrini might have.
I'm gonna have to Google.
I'm sure the number was 3. I'm sure it was 3, but it might have been 4. But I'm sure it was 3 managers and Slot.
Yeah,
maybe it's 3 and Slot will be the 4th or.
Yeah,
a 4 apparently.
I would say for the manager of the season debate, I would wait to see who finishes in the top 4. Because if Forest get top 4, or if Bournemouth sneak in there, I would argue the job they've done with what they've got is more.
6-1, by the way.
Yeah, you got no strikers though. That's what you have to. It was Conte at Chelsea. Pellegrini at City. So Pellegrini went one better than Pep. Must be a better manager. Ancelotti and Jose. So obviously Chelsea.
Probably have 3 at Chelsea.
And then who would have thought managers are the big spenders?
I mean, well, it says who says sacking managers and getting new ones can't lead to success, right?
Yeah, and just
trying again.
And again, Pep couldn't replicate what Pellegrini did at City in his first season.
Well,
just throwing it out there, But Heather's asking you, Lucas. Is Arteta gone if Arsenal don't win?
Nah, he's not. He's not going anywhere. This is as long as we get top 4, he's not going anywhere. Doesn't matter if he doesn't win anything. That's just the reality of it is at Arsenal. Graham saying he wins the Community Shields. He's going to be raft. I tell you what, he'd have to drop out the top 4 for them to get rid of him. I'd be very surprised if they do anything. Like, next season, I think majority of fans will. I think that will be it. Majority of fans will turn if he doesn't win anything next season. I think this season you're looking at 50-50 now, which is the closest where there are quite a few people who are like, okay, we've done enough of this. Give it to the next person, and then the other half of next season, I think they'll go no.
If you just have a deep Champions League run, though, that might help him a little bit.
Get to a final, or a semi-final, knocked out by Madrid, maybe, but
so you have to go really deep, do you, Lucas? You have to go really deep.
Oh God,
Lucas is balls deep in the Champions League all the way. I was thinking of Arteta, one of his charity shields. I bet he does that for his kids. And do you know when you're a kid and you're playing like war games? They do that, so they have like the shields on the front and on the back. That's what they do with it. I bet it's well good fun. And if you ever go around for food at Arteta's, sorted. Don't worry, he's got plates. One of his charity shields.
Jesus.
That's what as a sidebar, you'd love one of them at an all-you-can-eat buffet, wouldn't you? You'd smash that. Oh, but you're still. Are you still having him, Lucas?
At the end of the season,
yeah.
If we go trophyless, I would get rid. That second place up there. You know what that second place up there is? That's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's Solskjaer when he finished second and 20 points behind.
Hey, you leave my legend alone. He's doing wonders at Besiktas right now.
I said it again. I was like, title challenge and the trophy is what you have to do. So unless he wins the Champions League and crawls back within 6 points of Liverpool, No, I think it's worth. I generally think it's not like it's detrimental. Look, we are second. It's not detrimental. We're not United or Spurs. Sorry, Grimmy, but
That's all right.
I think that is enough ground to go. There is a stable base of players here who haven't left yet. And let's be real, we might not have a few. We're not going to have a few of these over the summer. This is the first part of the secondary rebuild, even though the first one's not actually done because we didn't get a striker.
No.
But Thomas Partey's leaving, Jorginho's leaving, Zinchenko's leaving. I mean, Jesus is probably gone in the winter when he comes back. Saliba and Real Madrid, that is murmurs at the moment, which is why we've come out and offered him a new contract. If he rejects that contract, he is gone. That's the thing. It's like sometimes it's better not to know, but now that we know that we've offered him a contract, if we don't hear anything about this contract, he's gone. And suddenly things look very different now with someone like Saliba who leaves. That's the first major player of this team that goes. So I look at it, I just go, he's got us there, but this is Brendan Rodgers at Liverpool. This is Pochettino at Spurs. Which aren't bad things, but it's like I don't see us getting us over the line for a major Premier League and Champions League. Mm-hmm. And at the point, we shouldn't even be talking about FA Cup and Carabao Cups. Those should be happening. So I think it's worth doing. And I generally think you go over to Inter Milan and you say, right, we want Inzaghi, how much to buy out his contract? And you bring him over here, you set up that filthy back five, you get some absolute nutty veterans in who like late 20s, early 30s, get a couple of these like just pure winners in, and we go there next season. And I think we actually mount a proper challenge for both Champions League and Prem. That's what I would personally do.
I think next season is a very big opportunity for Arsenal because City, I don't necessarily see them bouncing back necessarily 100% to what City were straight away.
It's tricky though, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I think Liverpool, whilst they've been good this year, the summer is going to be very interesting for them with Salah potentially not staying. Trent's contract situation. Van Dijk looks like, I don't know if Van Dijk has been confirmed, but I think the rumors are
Van Dijk and Salah will stay. Yeah. I think.
So like, if you lose a couple of them and then you still need, I think, a couple more decent players in there. And depending on what slot gets in,
he doesn't need to sign players. He just makes stuff work. So
stuff. You're going to get some people in. I mean, the rumors are true. Bloody hell!
I think you'll get good players. Like, I don't think it's a case you're going to get bad players. But I'm just saying, like, if you lose a couple of those first teamers and then you've got to replace them, like replacing Salah and them is just going to be a nightmare if Salah doesn't stay. Though I anticipate he will, because I think the records for him are well in touch if he stays.
He's loving life, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he stays. I think it's a 2-year deal.
I just think for Arsenal, because I just don't see Chelsea making a step, or Newcastle, or anyone else, and United and Spurs aren't going to be challenging for titles for at least 10 years. So let's not have that be a conversation.
I think Chelsea will improve. I think Chelsea are a safe bet to improve. They'll obviously go and buy loads of players again.
I don't think they'll improve enough.
Yeah, they'll sack the manager.
They'll be top 4, but I don't think they'll improve enough to be a title challenger.
I think Spurs and United will definitely improve, but I think these are teams that are going to take points of us. Spurs will be better. United, you guys will be better.
Lucas, don't give me that pipe dream. Don't give me that pipe dream.
Look where you are right now. You will. I promise.
I've already looked at it enough. I'm looking at this on 2 screens right now.
Bearing in mind, better is 10th place.
Yeah. Well, I think just to share it out, because I feel a bit bad on Grimmy getting all this United abuse. It's the birthday boy.
The birthday boy for his
watching United DVDs. There you go.
Oh, this is it. It's much better. To be fair, Grimmy's doing a fantastic defensive job with not a lot of work with.
I know I should have brought a shield with me.
Why was it you guys? Like I said, he's been there 5 years. That's a long time for a core of your team. And even though they are young, like someone told me the other day, Gabriel was 27. It's like, that's not old, but he is in his prime years as a centre back now. He needs to be winning trophies. When you're 27 and you're that good, that's it. So suddenly things can fall apart very quickly because we're going to have to shift probably the biggest core of players since we've been here under Arteta. Thomas Partey, who I think is our best midfielder, is gone. That's a big one in itself. And then if you throw in a Saliba to Madrid thing, things get very, very dangerous. Who knows how Saka looks when he comes back?
Mm.
Still haven't got that striker. I don't think we're going to get one. So we've got to get a centre back. We've got to get a goalkeeper. We've got to get a 2 DMs because Partey and Jorginho are going. We've got to get another midfielder who can actually play on the left and move forward. We've got to get 2 wingers because we need a backup for Saka, and we need Trossard's gone, and Martinelli's crap, and we need 2 strikers.
Listen.
So we'll put it that way.
Trust
That's
the
10
process.
players, guys. 10 players, and I'm not asking for a lot. These are 10 players who are actually going to need to use throughout the season. And that's not including if some of these guys leave. So I'm like, this is heavily on a nice edge with Arsenal over the summer. We've got to hope things go our way in the summer.
You're not going to be 14th though, realistically, Lucas.
We won't be 14th, but God, if we another second place, I support Napoli now. I'm done.
just
done.
You gotta trust that process, man.
Boring. It's just so boring. Just win something.
To be fair, 10 players is better than the 26 that we need. So you're halfway.
Yeah.
This is true. That's the difference in 21 points.
Lucas, Napoli are second as well. Do you like second place teams?
Well, I mean, they're on a proper process. They'll be all right.
Yeah.
But,
when I put it that way, you guys are neutral. Don't you think it is? Like, okay, let's do a hypothetical. Let's say Saliba goes to Real Madrid. What do you think is the situation now? Do you think it's confident that Arsenal are going to mount another title challenge?
I would be confident that Arsenal would find a decent replacement with the money they'd get for him.
I think title challenge is you're immediately weaker. Who are you going to get that's going to, with Saliba's now experience in the Premier League?
It's the partnership, isn't it, as well?
The partnership with Gabriel, the threat area lead. I just think it's to be title challengers next year. You might get somebody, but they might take 6 months to bed in, and then your title chances are over, aren't they? So, yeah, you're significantly weaker straight off the bat.
I think but the thing is though, with Arsenal scouting, again, the history of Arsenal scouting suggests that they'll be able to find someone. So I get that, yes, it's going to be a step down, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be, losing a Van Dijk or, someone like to that scale. I still think with the scouting that Arsenal have, they should be able to find a decent enough replacement.
Like Kivior.
No, I was going to suggest Harry Maguire for 10 million. To be fair, so
I think it'll be Calafiori. I think they'll move Calafiori or Ben White into that midfield, into that position. And both of them. Well, Calafiori can't defend. Ben White is much better as a right back. But I hear what you're saying. I think we will spend fine. But you know what it is? It's like Saliba is a player to win the league.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I think it is.
Project,
he is a key part of the project in terms of building players who can win, which is why Madrid want him. And I think losing our best midfielder and probably make an argument about best centre back in the same window it's tough. We have to get the summer right. We have to get the right pieces, and then that's not even talking about the 2 bloody strikers we're missing and the wingers.
Well, all I can say is I don't mind it this season. It's
we'll have Mo Salah
with me.
There you go, straight swap. You can have Martinelli, as Klopp always wanted, and we'll take Salah off your hands.
You're all right. Where did I see something? AFTV. Them people that would say I'd rather have Martinelli over Mbappe.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'm sure you would. Me too.
And how many beers had they had before doing that programming?
The only Arsenal fan I listen to is Lucas. He's the only one who lives in the world of reality. But
colleague just messaged me saying, please tell me how we've got 3 left backs on the pitch right now.
Tight. You're just closing that game up now.
7-1. There you go.
Oh my God.
Lord.
But
why
are you getting into goal scoring form before you come to Old Trafford? Is that some sort of sick joke?
It won't count in the league. Well, but that's what I mean. Gabriel and Saliba are still on the pitch.
I was going to say
7-1. And Rice and Odegaard. Yeah. 7-1. So,
you are some
difficult lead to defend in the second leg, though. Difficult lead, the old 7-1. So to see that hose.
He's going to send out like just a couple of kids, literally, not like your young players. I mean, like just a couple of kids. It's like, lads, what are you doing? Come on, have a game against PSV in this second leg. That's what he's going to do. You'll be fine. pressing it all. But I mean, something I did want to do, as somebody stated here. Johnny wants to know how Sam's birthday doing. Heather wanted to know.
Thanks very much.
Heather said, "Happy birthday, Sam," and I just wanted to say, "Happy birthday to you.
Jesus.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Sam is
dear
absolutely loving this, by
Samuel. Happy birthday to you."
Sensational.
Golf clap.
We're copyrighted for Tom Jones, but you know that was sensational.
Well, how much of that Baileys have you had, Josh?
Smashed it now, mate. That was full up to the there when I started. That's just the ice has melted.
Not that you can tell.
And I'm not sure what Graham's saying this at the 12-inch version. Have you been speaking to my wife? That's so close.
That's some Baileys.
No, there's never been a 12-inch. Like Simon said, Char does it better. She thinks happy birthday better. I'll, embrace it. Look at Sharon saying happy birthday. And
Sure.
I'm not sure if this is for you or for me. I'm assuming this is for me, but Sam, you're a legend as well. But thank you, Hannah. It's very, very kind of you to say. But for another go round, why not just smash all these European leagues? Because why not? It's all good fun. La 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 Liga. Has anyone watched, Sam? Have you watched any la 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 Liga?
No. It's the unstarter. Absolutely no idea. I can't even read the slide on my phone, so I might struggle with this one. Well, Real Madrid lost, didn't they? Anthony got his ban overturned, didn't he? Which was insane.
Oh, Anthony. Oh, the one that got away.
Don't get me started.
Barcelona won a game, but it's boring. What are Valencia doing? Valencia's they're struggling. They're making a solid effort to try and get out of the relegation
We're starting
zone.
to turn it around, yeah.
But come on, flip it. This every season. You're just boring, Valencia. Do something different, you losers. Atletico Madrid beating Bilbao. About it, and apparently Esco scored and celebrated. What do you think?
Oh, he scored again. He celebrated against Madrid, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, former player.
Yeah, do you know what? I've got no issue with former players. In fact, I judge former players for not celebrating.
Yeah. Is it a full Adebayor style celebration?
Yeah.
Best one was Adebayor or Van Persie when he went back to Arsenal and had the Guard of Honor for when we won the league. That was pretty nice.
I genuinely judge players. If you score against your former team, they have a former team. Do you know what I mean? Just great, mate. You don't play. You don't owe them nothing. You don't owe them anything. You gave them your life. They paid you lots of money. Move on. God, losers. Real Madrid in third position. Barcelona at the top. Well done. The only thing I was interested in is we're Valencia. That's all I was intrigued in. So they're giving it a good go. Las Palmas. They're not going to get relegated either. Sevilla. Yeah, Napoli second, Lucas. What's that pertaining there, mate? I thought.
They've not won in 5, to be fair. They're still second.
It's falling apart. It's fine. Our future manager is about to win another league, so all good.
Bless. How's what's his chops doing there? Old McTominay. Is he still loving life?
I think so.
He's prolific again, isn't he? I think. Yeah, I don't know recently, but he was.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that going to a good team in a beautiful country and really climate atmosphere would suit your football?
Who would have thought leaving Manchester United in the cesspit that it is at the minute would be a good career move? Shocking.
Just wild. But AC Milan lost to Lazio. So it's this Atalanta sitting in third. It's all much for much, but yeah, it's much tighter league. 58, 57, 55, 52, and 50. That's a top 5. That is a title charge. Exciting times. Who else have we got going on? And anyone exciting in this league, Sam?
Where's the old
Lecky
Leckie are clear.
Oh, look at that.
3 points.
Lecky
But,
for-
better than it was.
How did they do? Have they played the game? I'm trying to see if. Not according to the slides that I put up, they haven't played the game. Maybe they just don't have to. Don't have to play.
It says Lecky off. Lecky off.
Great Beckons is slipping back towards the relegation. They're not, mate. They're going to fight
control.
off. They got their surge protector, and don't you worry, they're going to be fine. And over in the Bundesliga, I've been a little bit disappointed in Leverkusen in that they've just drawn so many games. I mean, they've still got that never say die attitude, but it's just from last time I updated my slides, they were so close, and they've sort of slipped a little bit, and it's getting boring again now by just ruining football in Germany. It was exciting for a time.
So Harry Kane might win a trophy.
Oh,
the curse will be broken.
I know. Could you
that means
imagine?
Arsenal might actually go win a title next year. If Harry Kane can win a title, so can Arsenal.
Do you know? I don't know if you notice this. Well, when I was on the pod last, I mentioned this. Lucas, you'll appreciate that. So Harry Kane was the top goal scorer last season. They don't have a golden boot in the Bundesliga. They have a golden cannon. So the first trophy won in Germany was an Arsenal cannon. I just thought that was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed that. But
He'll get one now, finally.
Okay, bless his little heart. But in the Bundesliga, you've got Bayern Munich on 61 points, who are 8 points ahead of Leverkusen, who are currently 9 points ahead of Eintracht Frankfurt, who are 1 point ahead of Mainz, who are 1 point ahead of Freiburg, who are 2 points ahead of Leipzig, who are 1 point ahead of Wolfsburg, on the same points as Mönchengladbach, who are 1 point ahead of Stuttgart, who are 1 point ahead of Dortmund in 10th, who are 3 points ahead of Augsburg, who are 2 points ahead of Werder Bremen, who are 5 points ahead of Hoffenheim, who are 2 points ahead of Union Berlin, who are 2 points ahead of St. Pauli, who are 4 points ahead of Bochum, who are 1 point ahead of Holstein-Kiel, who are 1 point ahead of Heidenheim. And what a sexy league. But Dortmund in 10th. What's happening there? What have I missed? Shit the bed. They were like 3rd last time I looked at it. Dear me. Disappointed.
They signed, didn't they, a while back, and then they brought this new guy in.
God damn you, new guy. Boring. Over the Scottish Premier League, done in it. Scotland. Is there ever a competition that gets more boring after about 10 games for predictability? Celtic, they're just like PSG. They're the PSG of Scotland, just without the class and sophistication. Sorry, Celtic fans, don't take it personally.
I love how quick was that apology after that statement?
In regards of entertainment, just ruining it. And I still can't remember if Rebecca is a Dundee Aberdeen fan. It's complete. I'm trying to remember it, but I don't know.
Dundee. She did. She went there. She was there. She was at it this week. It was definitely Dundee.
Which Dundee? Dundee or Dundee United? Because it was a Rebecca derby with Aberdeen and Dundee playing. But I don't know if that was the wrong Dundee or the right Dundee.
It was the right Dundee. No United involved there, which is best for everybody, as Grimmy and I just covering at the moment.
But they drew, so she went all the way there, and you didn't even win for it. Screw you, Dundee, you selfish bastards! Traveling all the way to Scotland, you can't even win a game. Jesus, you losers! Against St. Johnson as well, who were bottom. God, shocking stuff over there with the V's. PSV are no longer top, so I think that's worked well into Arsenal's favour.
That has been a bit of a turnaround.
Yeah, because they were smashing back doors out of everybody. They were just violating teams. It was despicable. Made you feel ill and you wanted to cradle the other teams like a fetal child in your arms afterwards. But not anymore. Just deteriorated and on Ajax now. The floor cleaning product is top of the league. Just boring. Just getting boring again. But anything else? What's happening over there with Warwick? We're 17th, Sam. 6 points from the relegation playoff position. But 7 points from...
Big trouble.
Come on, Warwick. You could just pull it together. Pull it together, Warwick. Anything else interesting over there? Utrecht and Nachbada. There's a 1-0 game there. That's what they're called, isn't it? The second one.
Don't know if it's so aggressive.
You You got it then. And 20 was 1-1. Herveen and Ahmed Ahma was 3-1. Hercules Peter Peck Wall 4-2. Go Ahead Eagles beat PSV 3-2, which that one shocked me. Go Ahead Eagles beating PSV. Shocker. Feyenoord against Nizhny was 0-0. Albia City lost Ajax 1-0. And Sparta Rotterdam spanked Williamson, William Jr., William II, 4-0. What an exciting league. But come on, Warwick. If I come back here at some point and Warwick have been relegated from the Eredivisie, it'd be absolute bloody hell to pay. It'd be carnage. I'd be smashing glasses and hitting turtles and everything. It'd be terrible. And over in League, we've obviously there's no team in first position. We've vacated that because PSG have ruined football in France. You've made it crap and uncompetitive for that top space. So that's for you as well. Pep's had a couple of them. PSG have had a couple of them. Celtic, Dundee, I know you, PSG. That's for you. Thanks for spoiling at the top. But how competitive? Still competitive. And underneath, I don't want Marseille to win anything. But it's nice. Nicer in third. Hopefully, nice can do something.
Oh, well, at least one of the Rakdos teams is playing well, though.
Which is
nice. Be patient, Grimmy. Trust the process, clearly.
Trust the process. Will be third in like 4 years.
Do you know what you got to do? You got to have another staff culling. Really drill that staff down. You only need 10 people working at a football club to operate a major Premier League football club.
Trust me, as a Blythe Spartans fan who's witnessed the team almost go bust this season because all the staff resigned in protest of the previous owner, you do need more than 10 people.
11 then. You'll leave you with 11, to be fair. Well, you've got 26 in the squad, including the managers. Be fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. But that's France. That's football over in France. Nothing exciting going there. No one exciting getting relegated. No one exciting winning it because just PSG just ruin it. I still can't remember who's fifth. Sam Locks. Who's Loxley? Little Leo.
Loxley.
They're playing tonight, aren't they, in the Champions League?
Oh, Loxley?
No, Lil.
I was going to say, isn't there from Robin Hood?
I was going to say,
that's Robin Hood's brother, isn't it?
Yes.
It's Loxley. he was what's his
Isn't
face?
that Robin? It's Robin of Loxley, isn't it? That is Robin.
That's it. Robin of Loxley. Yeah, and his handsome brother, Will Scarlett. Who's the actor of the proper Robin Hood film with Kevin Costner?
The Prince of Thieves one.
Who is him? Who's his brother? Where's old Google? I'm surprised Graham isn't telling me in the chat because he normally knows everything, doesn't he?
I'm surprised Lucas isn't telling you. He's a bit of a film buff, isn't he?
Which Robin Hood is this?
The proper Robin Hood.
The Kevin Costner one, I think.
Yeah,
the Disney one. That's the proper Robin Hood.
Oh, that is legendary. That one. There's some banging tunes in that. But the one with Kevin Costner, handsome Kevin Costner, the legend Alan Rickman, Christian Slater, back before he looked like he should be banned from walking around school playgrounds. He was a handsome lad. that is a film.
Strays for Christian Slater.
He used to be really handsome. You check him now, you think, Jesus Christ. That's fame's ruined him. Check that film out if you haven't done. Graham saying Robin Hood Men in Tights is the proper one. Is that the one? We're men, manly men in tights. If you haven't seen it, check it. That is quite funny. It is quite good. Very much on the sort of. Do you know what? I'm looking at the cast of Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. Jesus Christ, none of these people have aged well. Marion, bless her heart, she looks ruined. Guy of Gisborne, dear God, he looks like he hasn't slept in about 740 years. The poor sod.
When did that film come out? That must have been like the 80s.
1991.
That's like a year before I existed.
Oh, sod off. Honestly, just make me feel old, why don't you? Brian Blessed, he don't look like that no more, though, does he? Brian Blessed. Yeah, he does. What a hero, honestly. So the old guys still look the same. Everyone who was younger just ruined them. I'm my favourite actor. If you haven't seen it, my favourite line in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Have you seen it, Sam?
Oh, many times. Yeah.
Guess what my favourite line is?
I don't know enough to quote it. I've seen it many times. I love
Have you
you,
seen
Robin
it,
Hood.
Have you seen it, Lucas? You haven't seen Robin Hood, Prince of Jesus Christ. Have you seen it, Grimmy?
I have seen it, but
Probably
like
years
when I was
ago.
a kid.
Yeah.
There's a line in there where the forest is burning down. The sheriff of Nottingham was found with Robin saying he's burning the forest down, and everyone's trying to find each other. And Little John spots his wife trapped in a tree, and he calls out to her, "Fanny!" The greatest line in cinematic history. Check it out. That's in name. Yeah, that is a name. Brilliant. Awesome. Absolutely
And if
awesome.
you had Josh shouting that out on his final show on your bingo card.
Funnily enough.
But there we are. But I think we've covered football, Sam. Completed football for today.
Done it. Done it. It's over.
Nothing done. It's all done. Thank you for joining us, Sam, and thank you again to everybody for everything. You've just all been great. You've made the whole experience, this whole journey, so much fun, and it's quite fitting. Finishing doing this with three of you. I've probably been content creating with the three of you for at least 3, knocking on the door 4 years, which is just absolutely wild. And I know I appreciate Sam and Lucas and Charlotte taking a chance and for some reason deciding it was a good idea to I'll jump ship and come over and do a new podcast with you. That looks like a load of fun. But because it took a lot of work. I think for me this has been a baby for pretty much 3 years. I looked back, I think it was August or July before we actually started the podcast, when I started putting everything together with my very beautiful and committed wife. Committed as in she's insane for being married to me. But once we put all the energy in, yeah, bless her heart. This is a community service. I think she committed a crime personally. But it's been an absolute labour of love, and I've thoroughly enjoyed all of it. And as I said right at the start, there's absolutely no negativity. There's nothing but love for what everybody's doing, and I really appreciate and really hope it continues to grow and grow and grow, which it will do, because Sam and the rest of the team, you're all just legends. I was going to drop an F-bomb there, but I thought I'm not going to spoil it right at the end for the entire pod. But you're all fantastic. I really appreciate everything. And but I'll be in contact, and you never know. You can never say never. But Grimmy, people are going to want to continue catching a bit of Grimace. Where are you going to be, Grimmy?
YouTube channel St. Grimmy. That's all my gaming stuff. Doing a lot of golf stuff at the minute because the new golf game's out. And Taking the Pin, the wrestling podcast I'm part of. We've got an episode coming out tomorrow discussing the biggest heel turn in the century. So if that's the song he uses anymore. So check us out there.
And I love Taking the Pin. What clever play on words that is. You right on the line without crossing it. You and got the man who's broken my heart by never delivering the much sought after Lucas calendar. But I will keep on checking on the off chance. But Lucas, everybody's going to want more. So where can they get more, Lucas?
Box Office Lucas on TikTok and Crabjaw _ on X. But yeah, TikTok for all your movies, TV shows, news and recommendations, reviews, you name it.
What shall I be watching now at the moment, Lucas? Any recommendations?
Daredevil Born Again tomorrow.
I'm at the end of season 2. We've literally just watched the second to last episode.
Catch up, mate. Catch up.
Season 3.
That's what we're doing. We've watched all of season 1 and 2 in the space of about 3 weeks. So we're trying to
should be good to go by the weekend, right?
Yeah.
That's a good show. He's cramming. And Sam, the man, the myth, the legend, who is 1 year older today, survived another year in existence. Where can people find you? Because they're gonna want some more.
It's true. A year and a day today. Yes, you can catch me mostly here, mostly Absolute Football Podcast, my stuff on my channels, which is now Sam Absolute EFL on YouTube, and on Twitter I'm Sam Absolute FBL. But yeah, I just wanted to say to you, Josh, a massive thank you from the entire team. The entire team thinks you're a legend. We say, as you said, started this 4 years ago. It took a lot of stuff. Massive thank you. You and your wife did an incredible job in terms of all the branding and stuff. Was all you guys and the start of what we did. We built a fantastic thing together. And as you say, hopefully one day, one blissful day, beautiful day, you'll be able to return and we can continue. But yeah, everyone loves you, respects you, as you said. Everything's positive. Everybody's wishing you all the best. And this, for us anyway, isn't goodbye to Josh, but in terms of, say, for people that see him in front of the camera and everything, I think everyone's appreciated the energy, enthusiasm, hilarity that you bring every week. So you are going to be sorely missed, but for us in particular, we hopefully won't be missing you, because we'll be speaking with you. So much love and thank you.
No, I really do appreciate it. And again, it's been a very special time, and something that's been well worth everything we put into it. And just please, everybody, keep watching it and keep supporting. Is this the right slide? If I put the wrong one up again, I don't know which one. This is the wrong one, isn't it?
You got the right one. You have got the right one. Yeah, that's the one.
Is it? Because I was thinking, Christ, have I got the right source? Yeah, it is. So people, check it out. Check it out now, because the funk is on, brother. Right about now at 8:30 on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Check it out on a Tuesday. Absolutely Premier League for all of your Premier League content, and on the Wednesday, absolutely tremendous. What a show! The women's football. You must check it out. If you don't know women's football, you want to learn women's football, that is the place for women's football. And speak of the devil on Thursdays.
Hi, I'm so sorry I'm late. I've just got back from the game. How is
Did
everyone?
You win?
Yes, we beat Mr. Luke's team, Gateshead.
Get in.
Yes, I'm fucking right on Thursday.
Do you know what?
Yes,
I've been giving these all day. These are for you, Mr. Luke.
Yes.
From the Rochdale Massive.
I just wanted to come on, Josh, because obviously I couldn't be on any sooner. I'm so sorry for that. But I just wanted to say, thank you so much for everything that you've done for not just the podcast, but for me personally, because I was lacking confidence massively, going into podcasting and stuff. And you're one of the people that gave me this platform and gave me the confidence to carry on podcasting and things like that. So honestly, I just want to wish you all the best, and please don't leave us for too long. We'll miss you.
I
we love you.
It, Sharp. I thank you for giving up so much of your time, and like I said, with Sam and Lucas as well, taking a chance on what we've created now, to being literally thousands of views every week, literally across all the formats, and that's all you guys. But I really do appreciate. But people, subscribe and check out Charlotte's Wowdy Wabble, the one we didn't hit on, the Wowdy Wabble on Thursdays. Gotta check it out. If you love any football that isn't Premier League, all of it underneath. So she's there from 8:30 to about 2 a.m. covering
that's on a good night. That's on a quick one.
So do check it out, do support it. And again, I really, really appreciate everybody and everything that you've done. It's been it's a pleasure. Just remember, everyone, that when you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. And walk on through the wind and walk on through the rain. For your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. And one little tidbit: never beat yellow snow, because the likelihood is it's somebody's piss. TTFN, it's not goodbye. It is just ta-ta for now. Thank everybody. Love you all dearly. Have a pleasant evening. Lots of love.